Hello guys, this is Dreco here. I know that the Cowboys-Giants game literally just ended, but I don't feel like waiting till tomorrow to make these predictions now, so here are my Week 4 NFL predictions. So, starting off on Thursday night, we got the Dolphins taking on the Bengals. I believe the Dolphins will get win number 4 on the season, starting off 4-0. The Bengals fall down to 1-3, I believe, and are the Bengals looking like a one-year wonder? Next up, we got our first international game of the year, the Saints taking on the Vikings. I'm actually going to go with New Orleans for this one. I think that New Orleans is going to get the win here because even though they lost on Sunday, they made some really good plays with their receivers. There were times when Jameis was just throwing it, just heaving it 50 yards down the field, and he was still connecting to his receivers. I think that he could do that over Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. And this time, since they're not as good as the Panthers, they'll beat them. Anyway, next up we got the Seahawks taking on the Lions. I got Detroit winning this game. It's in Detroit. It's going against probably one of the worst teams in the NFC. And yeah, Detroit's going to win. So Detroit moves up to 2-2. Seattle moves down to, I believe, 1-3. Oh, and the Saints and Vikings are both 2-2, by the way. Next up, we got the Chargers taking on the Texans. I think that the Chargers' bad luck ends today. They move up to 2-2. The Texans move down to 0-3-1. So yeah, really bad year for the Texans. Next up, we got a division rival, the Commanders taking on the Cowboys. I'm going to go with Dallas on this one. It's in Dallas, and the Commanders overall are a bad team. So, yeah, Dallas moves up to 3-1 with Cooper Rush, by the way. Someone ought to give him a starting job. And then on the other side, you got Washington moving down to 1-3. Next up, we got the Bears taking on the Giants. Third straight week that the Giants are playing in MetLife. I think this week they win because the Bears are terrible. So yeah, the Giants win this game. They move up to 3-1, and the Bears move down to 2-2. Next up, we got the Browns taking on the Falcons. I'm going to go with the Browns for this one. The Browns have a really good defense, and honestly, Jacoby Brissett doesn't look too bad. So I think that the Browns move up to 3-1. Atlanta falls to 1-3. Next up, we got the Bills taking on the Ravens. I'm going to go with Buffalo here, even though they're on the road. Buffalo, I predicted them to lose to Miami last week. Or technically this week. But yeah. And they did. So, but I don't think they're going to lose to the Ravens. I mean, the Dolphins beat the Ravens too. So yeah, Ravens fall down to 2-2. The Bills move up to 3-1. Next up, we got the Jets taking on the Steelers. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here. I think that the Steelers will be able to easily get this win, especially now that George Pickens is looking like the next big star down there in Pittsburgh. And the Jets, they have Garrett Wilson, but really they don't have anyone else on offense. Next up, we got the Jegs versus the Eagles. Upset alert here. Jacksonville gets the win in a stunning overtime upset against the Eagles. So the Jaguars shut down the Eagles' undefeated season. Honestly, I think the Jaguars, this might come back to bite me in the ass later, but I think that the Jaguars pretty much have the AFC South on lockdown, if you ask me, looking at their defense when they played the Chargers last week. I mean, yeah, the Eagles also have a great defense, but I think that this week is the week that they just sort of hiccup. Next up, we got a division rivalry, the Colts taking on the Titans. I'm going to go with Tennessee here. I think that Derrick Henry has a great game this week, and they get it to the receivers, and I'm pretty sure Stephon Gilmore is out for next week. He might be. If he's not, I think they'll still lose because Derrick Henry. So yeah, the Titans move up to 2-2. The Colts fall down to 1-2-1. Next up, we got the Patriots taking on the Packers. This one's not even going to be a close game. The Packers dominate against the Patriots. The Patriots, they're likely out. Max Jones is likely out for multiple weeks. And for the Packers, it's in Lambeau. Their defense is better. They just beat the Bucs. So, yeah. I think that this is going to be an easy win for the Green Bay Packers. Next up, we got the Cardinals taking on the Panthers. I'm actually going to go with Carolina for this one. Carolina's defense really showed up last week, and they're especially good on the run defense, which Arizona likes to do a lot with Kyler. So, yeah, I think that they're going to be able to stop Kyler Murray during this game, and their secondary has showed up this year. So, yeah, I think Carolina's going to move up to 2-2, and Arizona is going to move down to, I believe, 1-3. Next up, we got the Broncos taking on the Raiders. Sorry, Raiders fans, but I got Denver winning this game. I think that something is definitely wrong there in Vegas, that they'd managed to keep on, losing all these games that they probably should have won. I've predicted them to win the past 3 weeks, and they've lost the past 3 weeks. So, this week I'm going to predict you guys don't do any better than you did the last few weeks. I think I have you losing to Denver. So, yeah, still no wins on the season yet for Vegas. I don't know if it's a coaching issue or what. Next up, we got Sunday Night Football that may or may not actually be played in Miami. The Chiefs taking on the Buccaneers. I'm going to go with the Chiefs for this game because if it is played in Miami, it might not be the Bucs fans actually there. So I think that the Chiefs are going to be able to beat the Bucs here. Plus, I don't know if Godwin or Jones are coming back. I know Mike Evans is coming back, but if your secondary receiver, if something happens to Mike Evans, is Rashad Perryman, that's not good. So I think that the Chiefs managed to get the victory here. They move up to 3-1. Tampa moves down to 2-2. And no, this is definitely not biased because this would put Carolina in the front of the division. And the last game of the week, we got an NFC Championship game from last year. Rematch, the Rams taking on the 49ers. I know the Rams haven't beaten the regular season 49ers in a bit, but I think they'll do it this week. The Rams take home the victory on Monday night against Jimmy G and the 49ers. So, yeah, that moves them up a lot. So, yeah, after my predictions of Week 4, here are some of the highlights. Dolphins finished this week as the only undefeated team in the NFL. Jaguars look like a bona fide championship contender by ending Philly's winless streak. Vegas, something's got to happen there or they're not going to win any games this year. And the Bengals looking like frauds. So, yep, that's my predictions for Week 4 of the NFL season. And stay safe to everybody who is in Tampa, because I know there's going to be a big hurricane that's hitting there soon. So, yeah, good luck.